Hello there, and welcome to Ultima's Cloud Series video blogs. So we're on video 2. The first video, if you didn't catch it, was all around a general overview of how we operate in the cloud and what we do. But this is video 2, so this is predominantly around how we're going to get people into the cloud successfully and along that cloud journey, and also how people are already in cloud, how we understand whether their cloud is performing well and is optimized for cloud services. So. Hello, Craig again. So yeah, can you talk a little bit about how we help customers on the journey into cloud who maybe either have a small amount in there or not there at all?
Yeah, and it's an interesting subject really, because there are multiple areas that you need to take into account when you look to migrate to public cloud. It's not just about either lifting and shifting servers and putting them into Azure and how much will they spend. A good analogy would be, if you think about it from a data center perspective. When you need a new data center platform, you need to build up co-location, power, cooling. You need to make sure your network, compute, storage, all those kind of elements are already in place before you can migrate. And it's exactly the same analogy or concept for cloud. We need to make sure all those relevant moving parts are ready to go before we can migrate in. So there are kind of 5 key areas that we need to take into account. There's assessing an existing environment. Is it compatible, and are my applications compatible? It's building within public cloud, so formerly called a landing zone, that we'll go on to in the next video. Then there's the migration. How do I go about doing that, and what services can I adopt? Again, we'll go on to it in a future video, and then obviously an overall management of target operating model as well. Okay. So from our perspective, we have a service called Cloud Assess. It starts off as a free of charge engagement from a pre-sales perspective, and effectively what we do is we leverage Microsoft and Amazon to run those key assessments across your platform, but also then bolt on those other areas or give visibility into those key areas that I've just highlighted. So you get a full rounded total cost of ownership, not just from how much will it cost me initially, but also what are my ongoing costs, what are my cost model options for the different services I'm going to consume. Yeah,
it's really important, that first bit as well, because some customers, certainly in the past, where you've talked to customers about massive monolithic cloud migration projects that they've gone in there, and before they even understand what the cloud looks like, and then you have to kind of sell them a 50-day engagement to even get to a point where you know what it is that you're going to migrate, and that just doesn't work, because why am I going to invest £50,000 in something where I don't even know what I'm going to get off the back end? So having that first initial piece to kind of get an idea of what it looks like is really important.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. And then for those customers that may already be in the cloud, they're already consuming it, whether it's AWS or Amazon, AWS and Amazon, but actually Azure. What is it what kind of service can we help them with to understand? Is it built well? Is it architected correctly? Is it secure? Is it optimized? Anything we can do in that space?
Yeah, it's a great question. So exactly right. I mean, again, I mentioned trends in the last video. And a lot of those are around, once customers are in public cloud, we now lack of skill sets is a key thing. That lack of skill sets can lead to an unoptimized platform. From a cost perspective, we actually generally have conversations with customers around costs spiraling out of control, not being able to manage them properly, and also as well, non-best practice aligned platforms as well. So from the Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework and the well-architected framework from an Amazon perspective as well. So we offer a free of charge service called Cloud Analyze. Again, that's a pre-sales led exercise. It's basically a high-level health check of your environment. What we do is we hook in some of our key tooling that we use actually from a managed cloud perspective, one of which is called IA Cloud, which is our own internally developed IP, our own SaaS product that's a cloud management platform. And really what we're looking for is understanding the existing monthly bill, understanding then the services that are being used within that public cloud platform, and then the opportunities to make them more cost efficient, and whether or not that's across both platforms, things like reserved instances, committing up front and gaining a discount against on-demand pricing, what my licensing looks like, those kind of things. Generally speaking, we find between 10 and say about 50% of savings against a monthly bill. In fact, recently we ran this in Azure for a customer, and we could save them up to 45%. Notwithstanding, we also highlighted business as usual savings that could be made if the customer leveraged automation more, which could save them, again, another 20-30%, because we're automating things like patching, deployment of services through infrastructure as code, backups, malware, anti-malware, those kind of things as well. But moving past that as well, that best practice alignment is really, really key. So obviously cost is one key pillar, really key pillar of course, but architecture and security is another. We don't want to be migrating our services into a platform that isn't protected by perimeter security, for example. So we generally find, in fact, every single time we find something that doesn't align to best practice, it moves that quickly from both platforms. So it's really, really key that we pick those up. Okay, the engagement at this point is generally about 28 days that we run it for. And it's more for the tooling to basically gather gather the relevant statistics that it needs.
It's a really nice report that goes back, so you get a really quite simple stuff that says this is how much you could be saving if you actually optimize your environment. This is the security things which you need to action upon, and of course Ultima can help you out in actioning those things if you need it as well. But also it just gives you a general feel as to actually my environment's fit for purpose, or maybe it's not, or maybe actually in some instances we probably need to start again. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, a key thing to it as well, to be fair, is these services are designed to be as light touch as possible from a customer perspective. So putting it into hours, generally speaking, the Cloud Analyze only really needs 2 or 3 hours of customer time, maximum. Generally it's less. And the time really spent is that presentation back. These is what our findings are and a discussion around it. The setup is 30 minutes. It's really, really quick. So if you're wanting to leverage that kind of service, doesn't take a lot of time or effort on your part at all.
That's excellent. Yeah, I recommend anybody out there who has a cloud environment, against a free assessment, very, very well presented, and worst case scenario is you find out that your environment is fully optimized and fully secured. So yeah, great. Cool. Well, thank you again, Craig.
Thanks, Matt.
I'm sure we'll catch you later on today for one of our other videos around the cloud video blog series. So yeah, tune in later. Thank you.
Thank you.